please. And with that, let the game begin.
Thank you very much for that, Maurice and crew. All right, well, e4, I'm afraid the naysayers have won. Knight f3 is on the board. We have officially started game number 7 of the FIDE World Championship. Danya, Peter, over to you. What do you make of this?
But it's sort of a gateway into a million different variations. You can play 2 d4, but what sense would there be in starting with knight f3? And g3.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes, that's a real rating. Yeah. Now the big question is, I believe that Ding Liren was usually playing, so let me play something else. And we see g6. There we go.
Great call. And I don't think that this move has lost its reputation as one of Black's solid responses. I remember the time when, rumor had it that g6 was a refutation to knight f3 and g3. Everyone was excited about it.
c4. Yeah, he keeps the bishop on g2. Basically asking Black direct question, yeah, how you want to deal with this d5 pawn. Yeah, Black has so many different options. c6 is the symmetrical Grunfeld.
To g2. Is it going to be now? Yes, it is.
Yes, okay, now we understand something, yeah? So the move order that Gukesh used was basically aimed to get his opponent into the c6 structure, yeah? Which probably Ding anyway wanted, so he doesn't care, it's the most solid system. Well, knight f6 castles. All right, so for the moment, white is sacrificing the c4 pawn. Well, d takes c4 is possible, but it's a little bit risky for Black, yeah? So Ding Liren plays the most classical short castle.
Wow, this is apparently, I just think of this as the Fianchetto Grunfeld, but he evidently considered it a hopeless and forlorn wish because both players, unfortunately, had been playing boring d4 moves as we see bishop g4 appear on the board. And then, suddenly, the two masters had just then ascended to the room of play on the floor above at the Manhattan Chess Club. They actually did play an Evans Gambit, and Steinitz repeated the same exact line that he had published in his earlier book and that he had played against Chigorin about a month earlier, Silicon Machine. But of course, in the end, it did turn out favorably. And indeed, we see knight c2.
Already seen in the body language of Ding that he knows that he's behind and he plays fast. Yeah, knight f8.
Knight f8. Just by the motion of his hand, you could tell he moved the knight backward.
Exactly. And we also kind of expected this move, knight f8. It's a classy move, dynamic. And there we have it, bishop d4 on the board.
I totally agree. I mean, what's the point? You want to put yourself in the player's shoes. This is what gives you a flavor of the tension.
Completely different mindset. And rook takes e1 is on the board. Ding trades the rooks.
Instantly recaptured. Gukesh pre-moved that. And now another huge moment. Is he actually going to take on a2? He is!
Wow.
He is! Oh my gosh, Peter. I can't watch. I think I need to leave the room.
Well, I'm so happy that actually queen takes a2 happened because
there are plenty of good situations where players are put under time pressure. Preparation is important for this reason, so that you can apply this kind of pressure. What kind of things do we need to be thinking about in this scenario?
Well, this is not complete madness because during the break, my question comes back to Hunt. Ding, yeah, and there we have it, king g2 on the board.
And Bullet Brawl is on Saturday, but for Gukesh, oh my goodness, look at the confidence of his play. And Peter, as you said, the hard part about this position isn't...
So in this regard, and there is a move, rook a5 on the board.
Found it!
Wow.
Ding was not happy to see that.
Wow.
And already a move, and it's queen b3. It's not a6. So,
yeah, he's heading towards queen d3. Yeah, he's hoping for c3 or queen.
Go home and get some dinner.
Okay, rook a3 on the board at the moment. Okay, queen b1.
Repeating once.
Yes, it makes perfect sense because Gukesh also feels like probably I'm objectively better and he would have not played rook a5. Yeah, he takes.
If you wanted to force
There
a
we
draw,
go.
you would have played rook a1, and I think we will get queen f4. Something tells me that is what he's aiming for. Or
Yeah, it's
queen
the professional move.
There's also queen c3. There's also queen c3.
Queen c3, yeah, guarding the knight on c2, but still somehow it feels so strange.
Knight d5 again is a huge problem there. And at some point, you start going in circles, and he does take the knight. I think he's going for that endgame. Gukesh instantly takes black's knight. And what is Ding's defensive approach here? It is queen f5.
Yeah.
And I think this is perhaps the lesser evil, given that he didn't see g5. What is Gukesh going to do to avoid that?
Can you play bishop g5 just... But he takes.
Maybe
Okay,
he should have taken
takes.
a little bit more time there. I think bishop g5, Peter, and rook c5 might have just been
Yes.
domination.
Exactly, yeah. You think like you are setting up a beautiful exchange sacrifice. Okay, rook d4 on the board.
Thank God. And like, is the idea of knight c6 to go back to e7? And he's played it because he is the
Exactly.
world champion after all.
Yeah, knight c6. Rook.
4 minutes, no increment, and Ding is aware. King f6 on the board.
Okay.
There's a feature where you can map a piece path. It's gone rook a1, rook a3, rook a5, rook a3, rook a5. Rook takes b5, rook c5, rook c4, rook d4, rook f4, rook d4, rook h4, rook takes h6. And he didn't play rook c8. I was going to say
Yes.
the triumphant move. Oh my God.
And f4 played.
Played it.
And look at the glance, how he stared at Gukesh. Like he sensed, did you miss this?
But what's wrong with
Why he missed rook h3? It's easy to miss rook h3.
Insanity. 20 seconds again. And he goes back to c4, and f5 will happen. A lot faster when you're actually sitting at the board than when you're playing. And bishop d1 on the board. Oh my gosh. King g2, only move.
Yes.
Always playing and commentating these types of insane situations on the board. Rook b3.
Rook e5. Blitz out.
Instantly. You play f4.
f4, wow.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention that even there is such idea.
I think it might draw because you have rook g1 and rook g2. And I feel like
Yes, but something tells me that I would prefer to put the rook on c7. I'll try to get this, but...
rook b5 is not the move. Apparently knight d6.
Knight d6 played, of course. It's the professional move.
Why risk it with crazy tactics when you have simply knight d6 stabilizing the situation? Knight, but you can't even keep the extra pawn. Like there is just no way. You're losing the pawn on the next move by force.
Yeah, just he should not lose on time out of desperation that I cannot win. That's the only danger.
10 seconds. Well, he glances at the clock. He knows. 5 seconds. And he
Make
moves.
a move.
Thank God.
Yes.
Okay, but I don't know why he would leave the knight on the board. He's still trying.
King
A6?
d2.
No.
Well, oh, king e7, knight d6. Yeah, looks like a very natural way of... King e7, knight d6, and...
Black's not
rook
worse.
b6. Okay, rook b6. Yeah, setting up a6 and knight d6.
Gukesh needs to just go rook d6. Get rid of that pawn, because if you go down this pawn, at that point, when you're upset and tired, just make sure nothing insane happens. Okay, good enough.
Bishop
Rook
c4, rook
draw.
d6. Yeah, that's it.
Unbelievable. Knight d6 takes b5.
With big happiness.
And the knight is the game-saving piece. How symbolic. The rook does not outlast black's knight. And both kings live to tell the tale. It is officially a draw.
Wow. Insane action. We have witnessed a fantastic game. The applause is absolutely correct.
It is warranted and on both sides. A great game like this takes two authors. And although Gukesh will be the heartbroken one, his fighting spirit deserves just as much praise. But it is Ding's unbelievable resilience at so many stages of the game that saves him an absolutely pivotal half point in this never predictable World Championship match. You got to do it again tomorrow, Peter. That's the best part.
Yes, incredible. Okay, these last two games have been fantastic. John, what is your take?
Wow, unbelievable. John Sargent, help us process these emotions as the players finally leave the game table, but not for very long. They'll be right back at it in under 24 hours.
Danya, help you process these emotions. If we had heart rate monitors on the players right now, I guarantee they'd be a lot lower than us sat here. It's us we need to worry about. That was insane. Whenever you compare what the game looked like at the end to what was going on into the middle game, you would not have believed it. Peter, if I told you